when you have to start a sentence with, I'm not trying to be a homophobe or I'm not a homophobe. You know what I mean? It's not something that people do. I don't just sort of like walk into rooms and like, I'm not a killer. People would run. Wow, what's up rebels? My name's Willy and I'm one half of Leo and Willy. We are engaged, we are queer.
Queen, slay!
And today I am here to react to some unpopular opinions. LGBTQ edition! If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. And if you are subscribed, you are truly amazing. There is nobody in this world who is like you. Your sheer presence alone is the reason why someone smiles, and your laugh, well, that's my favorite sound. So without further ado, let's get into it. I absolutely love unpopular LGBTQ opinions. I think they are hilarious. It does not mean that they align with my thoughts unless they do. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they do. But they can be funny. Sorry I'm talking so much. I think it's because I've missed you. I know it's really weird because I'm literally just talking to myself, but I miss it. I miss this. We're back. All right, let's get on with it. First one. I don't understand pillow princesses / stone bottoms, if that's a term. By the way, I've never heard of stone bottom, but yeah, I'm here for it. We get what it means. You don't want to eat in a little bit once in a blue moon. I don't know, man. Maybe you're just not that into women. Oh, controversy. The gays are fighting. I think this one's funny. So I am someone who personally has no issue with a pillow princess or a pillow prince. As long as everybody in that situation is consenting to the dynamic of it, it's all right. The bit about maybe you're just not into women, I think is ridiculous, because wanting to get eaten out by a lot of women, I think that's kind of gay. Some people enjoy being served and some people enjoy servicing. So I don't necessarily think that's an issue. I just think you're probably not compatibly aligned with the person who really wants to just be serviced. I do get what you mean. I think long-term wise, like if I was in a relationship with someone who long-term wise wanted to be a pillow prince or a pillow princess or a pillow they-cess, I think it's okay if it's like a cheeky, like casual thing or one night bang. But I think long-term wise, that might become a bit boring just because you kind of, at some point, it does become a bit repetitive. And I think just having that flip, also having someone who's normally like very bottomy and subby suddenly switch roles. I might need to have a break with my friend Ann Summers. The LGBTQ community is completely unnecessary and should be disbanded. Ally! Oh, tea, okay. I want to point out that I'm not a homophobe. Oh, this is a straight person. I don't know why I thought it was like, you know, like a gay in the flavor of like Buckle Blair. You know what I mean? Oh, they're straight. This is cheeky. This is giving very much. I don't want to offend you, but I want to point out that I'm not a homophobe at all. I'm just tired of people saying that I identify as a member of this community. So they are in the community. That's like me introducing... No, they didn't say my community. That's like me introducing myself as straight when I meet new people. No one cares who you are sexually attracted to. Stop trying to make it what defines you. Okay, they are straight. And to put people in their own specific community, isn't that just segregation? Oh, segregation. My ancestors. I can feel my ancestors. Straight people don't have their own community. Well, they can try. It's just that LGBTQ tend to be quite entertaining, creative in general. If you think about the community, the entertainment world, a lot of us are there. And so you can have your own community. It's just, it's going to be very boring. If the LGBTQ community wants the same rights as straight people, then they shouldn't be separating themselves from the general population. I think the LGBTQ community was made to bring awareness, but it served its purpose already. They really said you're expired, you are past your sell-by date, get off the shelves. Okay, let's unpack this. Disrespectfully, shut the fuck up. I think it's incredibly straight, privileged, and honestly, I can imagine that this person is probably why I said what I said. You can rewind it, come back, and I would have still said that the person sounds straight and white. For them to literally go, it's cool, it served its purpose already. They're so far removed from the community in general, and the community has probably always been a nuisance to them because you're not aware of LGBTQ political issues if you think that it served its purpose. Pride started as a protest, regardless of how corporate and how, performance-y some industries have gotten to, attach themselves to Pride because it's quite profitable. That's the whole thing. But Pride started as a protest for rights that are still being challenged today. We literally have, well, you guys, not me, y'all have a president in America that is so happy to take trans rights away and is trying to take trans rights away. So the idea of it serving its purpose, what purpose has it served? Oh, even the birds outside are green. Tweedle, tweedle. What purpose has it served? I think this is so stupid. It's ignorant. It's uneducated. When you have to start a sentence with, I'm not trying to be a homophobe or I'm not a homophobe. You know what I mean? It's not something that people do. I don't just sort of like walk into rooms and like, I'm not a killer. People would run. And segregation? Isn't that segregation for us to have a community of which we are a bunch of minorities who do share overlaps in our rights, in our oppression, in our journey to freedom as well. We are a community. The idea of you as a straight person feeling a little bit oppressed because LGBTQ people have their own community and label it as segregation is so offensive. I don't know, I'm just too black for it. I'm like, God, you don't know what segregation is if you think it can be used so freely here. You sound stupid. I was gonna be nice, but then I thought, nah. Next. So besties, some of these are posts in general, so they have the title and they have the body, and some of them are like in response to add your unpopular opinion. So this is an example of one of them. Drag queens are tedious and annoying.
Damn.
Wow. So this is an interesting one because I don't feel like it's an unpopular opinion. Not to say that I think the opinion is good. I'm just saying that it's a hard one to label as unpopular because it's just someone's individual opinion, which of course they are entitled to have. Maybe their experience with drag queens are that they're tedious and very annoying. My experience with drag queens are very different. I worked in the entertainment industry. I worked in the event industry. I booked drag queens for shows all over the UK, and so they are some of the most sweetest, kindest people in and out of drag. So I don't know, maybe this is just this person's experience. If that's your experience, that's your experience. Imagine if this person has gone to every drag show where they've been absolutely awful, rude, disgusting to him. I think it's a him. That's me making an assumption by the profile. Oh, anti-woke, Blair Wyatt army. But yeah, like drag queens are tedious and annoying. I don't know, I just feel like if that's their experience, that's their experience. I can't tell someone that's not their truth because they could have been around the most annoying drag queens ever. And if I lived their life and was around them, I might have that same conclusion too. It just happens to be that the ones that I've worked with, seen, booked, experienced, watched are all amazing people. Not all of them, that would be a lie. One of them's so annoying. You know who you are. I won't name drop, but you know who you are. Next! It's only your responsibility to decide if you want to transition. And if you end up not liking it, you only have yourself to blame. Oh! Oh, this one's so juicy and sticky at the same time. As a cis person, I don't feel like I have a right to answer it. I feel like I want Leo to be here as my trans later, do you know what I mean? Just in case it goes south. This whole thing makes me think of Kira Bell. If you don't know who Kira Bell is, here's gonna be a really, really quick lowdown. So, Kira Bell, in the UK, woman, and when she was 16 years old, or maybe before that, she thought she was trans. So at 16, she had puberty blockers, I believe. 17 was when she received HRT, hormone replacement therapy, so she was on testosterone at this point. And at some point during this period as well, she also had top surgery. She then decided to sue the NHS. I think it's around 2021. I'm really sorry. This is from my memory, so if it's wrong, I apologize and I will put in the actual dates. But if it's not wrong, there'll be nothing added on graphic-wise. It's like, girl, you got it. You're amazing. But yeah, so she tried to sue the NHS, which for those of you who aren't from the UK, the NHS stands for the National Health Service, and it's a free healthcare that we receive, which comes out of like taxpayers' money, so that one day if you need them, they're there for you, right? So she decides to sue them because she believes that she should have been challenged more. Now, again, I'm not trans, and so I haven't transitioned, and therefore I will never really know what it's like to detransition. What I am is a human. If you guys don't know, that's what's up here. Human. It's on my wall, so it has to be true, you know what I mean? As a member of the human species, I am able to empathize, is what I'll say, is because, you know, gender affirming care is often put into the box of trans issue or trans thing, trans problem, whereas that's not the case. If cis women decide to have their breasts enlarged or taken down, that's gender affirming care. If cis men consistently have low T counts and that affects them, then they will also receive HRT. So it's not that simple. So I think from a human perspective, I can empathize with the idea of someone having something happen to them that they no longer are happy with, because I like my tits. I do. I like knowing that if I need Leo to do something and he doesn't hear me the first time, I can go, and then he'll go, down boy. No, but like I do. I love this situation that I've got going on, and I feel like if they were gone, I would be quite sad. And that's not to say that these equal my body or my this, because I don't believe it's like that. I definitely, as an individual, feel like gender is quite a big spectrum, and one that I'm still exploring. But I just know how it would make me feel to no longer look or sound the way that I feel I want to represent myself. I think that's a human issue. I think every human can empathize with that. I think where you go deeper and you go, okay, now I want to sue the NHS and I have an issue with these people and everyone else is to blame because I made these choices as a kid and you should have known that as a kid I couldn't make this choice, is kind of ridiculous. I'm just going to be real. That's not to say that I don't empathize with people who detransition, because it's kind of like being trans but the opposite around, right? It's feeling like you're not in the right body, or you want to go back to this or revert to this or want to be perceived this way, and not necessarily having the ability to do so in some cases. And I imagine that's really difficult. Really difficult. And I do truly empathize with people who go through that. I don't empathize with people like Kira Bell who decide to blame the rest of the world for choices that they did make. And yes, we can argue informed consent ages, minor ages, this, that, but at the end of the day, if that's a choice that someone made once upon a time and you had therapy, you had this, and they said, do you? And you said, yes, it's not someone else's responsibility to just not believe you because you were probably just as driven back in the days as you are now, but on the opposite end. And so I don't know, I think it raises a lot of red flags for me of like the type of person you are. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say I feel like it's okay to do transition, it's okay to feel your feelings, it's okay to be pissed, but I think that there needs to be some sort of self-accountability for, especially for surgery. I think if you're like 16, 17, 18, you're deciding to take surgery, that's a huge decision. A big decision, and we have way more access to information about it and the risks about it as well. So in this day and age, I'm not saying that, oh, in this day and age, if you transition and regret it, you're an idiot, because that's just not true. But I certainly think that it's your responsibility to self-police yourself and give yourself the access to the information. And if you aren't getting access, if you're watching me, then you have access to watch a gender specialist online. That's just the truth, right? There are loads of people who are trying their best to make information more accessible so that you're not having to go to the doctors to find out the information. It's, hey, I'm a gender specialist and this is my YouTube channel. There are loads like that. And if you've never heard of it before, you're like, oh, what? Please go search them, because I think everybody should do that work. I said this to Leo, and I've personally openly said this, that, you know, when Leo decided he wanted to transition physically, I was the one who had the finances at that point. And so I was like, yeah, cool, of course I'm going to fund it. We're in a relationship. I got the money. So when we went private so we can make it happen a little bit quicker, I didn't expect it to happen so quick. We had one meeting, and then by the next meeting, Leah was already on T. And I found that absolutely bizarre. I found the whole process bizarre. And I can't sit here and deny otherwise, even whilst knowing that the testosterone that Leo took has made him the best version of himself today. I still know that there should have been more duty of care before Leo ever took that medication. That's what I believe, and I can't change my mind on that. So I do believe that there are medical, especially in the States, where a lot of it's like, money. There are definitely a lot of medical fields who are going to take advantage of trans people. They're going to take advantage of young people, and they should be implementing stricter policies to at least ensure that someone feels healthy and, you know, ready for that thing. But as a cis person, do I really want to go, these are the rules I think that should be there for someone to be who they want to be? I don't know. I don't know if it's my place, but I do know what is my place, and that's speaking to my own experience. And with my experience of, you know, funding Leo's HRT for a year, I was just a little bit confused as to how it happened so quick. We had one meeting and then he had tea, and I don't think that's healthy. I imagine if you're younger, the process is going to be a lot different. It could be that, you know, Leo was in his mid-20s already at this point, so, you know, but regardless, I think everybody has a duty of care, and part of that care is ensuring that people understand exactly what is going to happen to their body and understanding the difference between temporary and permanent. Because at the end of the day, permanent changes shouldn't be made for temporary feelings. And so it's your responsibility to check yourself and really have that assurity within yourself. And it's also medical professionals' responsibility. That's just the truth. We don't want people to detransition. We don't want people to transition if they don't really feel like that. That's an actual issue, which I don't think people want to discuss because the detransition rates are so low, but they probably are increasing and aren't, you know, being as followed because maybe some people aren't speaking about it. I don't know. But I definitely think there is a place for more detransition discussions. There's definitely a place for people to feel more open to speaking about their experience and how they truly felt like they were maybe misled. But I think that needs to come with self-accountability. I think anyone who isn't willing to take accountability and is like, you, there's always 4 pointing right back at you. You know what I mean? Like, look inwards first, because you're the only one who said I want to do that. Do you know what I mean? No one held a gun to your head. So yeah, that's my view. For someone who was like, I don't want to say anything, I had a lot to say, didn't I? Don't cancel me. Toxic gossip. I'm tired of non-binary people calling everyone a they when they want to be polite about someone's pronouns, particularly when my NB friends refer to me as they because they know I'm trans, so I must not subscribe to binary pronouns. No, I'm a he. I did not go through 21 years of my life getting called she and it just to be misgendered again post-transition with your non-binary wokeness. Speak on it, king. I get why it happens. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I haven't said they or resorted to they or defaulted to they if I wasn't aware or wasn't sure. But yeah, I think speak on it. I think that's the tea. I think for me, the way we combat that is just by asking their pronouns, right? And ensuring that you're using that as your everyday practice and not just for people you perceive to be a little bit queer. You know what I mean? Because it's like, ignore, beep, 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 hey, hi, yeah, you. What are your pronouns? It's very targeted and specific, and sometimes it's cool because it's like real recognize real, gay recognize gay, queer recognize queer, pan recognize pan, all that stuff. But sometimes it's like, you know, it'd be nice if you could ask everyone so that we could all collectively say it. I might not necessarily want to be singled out in this moment, blah, blah. But trans people, I'm asking you specifically because I'm here giving advice about how it should happen. It's not really my story. You comment below how you would want that to happen. Is it kind of just ask me what my pronouns are and stick to them, bruh? Or is it, oh, I don't know if I really like to be asked in certain spaces because I might not be comfortable to come out with it. Like, what's the tea? You put it down below, you lead your own story, and hopefully you can educate the rest of us, because I think that's one that's like, it's not for me, is it? I say as I did this whole speech about detransitioners. But honestly, yeah, King, speak on it. You didn't stutter. You weren't unclear. You are a he. Call me a he. And yeah, I think nobody's saying they to insult anyone. It always feels like it's in place of trying to be super inclusive, and sometimes trying to be super inclusive can actually have you excluding people's correct pronouns, and it doesn't really work. So yeah, just have those conversations is what I think. But like I said, let trans people in the comments lead that discussion, because I'm not trans. And so I don't know if I'm the right person to lead that discussion. Speaking of trans and not being trans and being an ally, I want to do a video at some point about how you can be a good ally. some of the things that I've learned, some of the mistakes that I've made in the past, and things that I'm still learning. And I don't know if that'll be interesting to people, how you can be allied to trans people. Obviously, my fiance's trans, so it's been our life for a very long time, and there's been a lot of growing and learning and unlearning from the both of us. And so I think it'd be really cool. Let me know. Obviously, Leah will continue to talk about it regardless, but maybe then if there's anyone out there who would like how to be a good ally, or what I've learned about how to be an ally, or how I was not a good ally but could be a good ally, you know, however you want it framed. I don't think I've ever not been a good ally. I just think allyship is an action word. I think you need to actually be an ally. Just saying it and whispering it into the distance, ally, does nothing for no one, you know what I mean? So yeah, being an active ally, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, and how you can actually show up for people without ruining your own spoons, you know, without taking it all out of yourself, because we're all humans, we all need to exist, and we all need to exist in our own worlds too. So yeah, let me know. I believe that's the last of them, my angels. That is all I've got. If you like this, I will do more. I am sorry that I've been away for a bit. I've just been moving. I'm in a brand new place. Do you guys want to see a little bit of my bed? Can you even see that? This doesn't go here, this thing. I'll show you. This thing goes here, but I've wheeled it there so I could have my drinks. But yeah, it's my little bed. And then I've got my thingies on the TV. I just put them up there so I can see them nice and wide. That's how I like to film. Yeah, maybe at some point when I'm actually like well rested, I'll do a room tour, because it's like I've just moved in like 4 days ago. So I'm not like here yet, but I think at some point I'll do a room tour. Leo's moved as well, properly moving, because he needs to do his deep clean of the house, and I don't play around with my deep clean. Yeah, hopefully we can both do like room tours at some point. But yeah, hopefully he's like this. Let me know. I'm going to be doing more of my ranking hate comments, but I'm going to do all the ones. So my ranking Blair White hate comments, my ranking Errol Scarcella hate comments, and just continuing that because I find them hilarious. But yeah, please let me know your comments below. Do you think they were unpopular? Do you agree with them? Do you not agree with them? Are you angered by any of them? Or do you find any of them hilarious? Let me know. I love hearing your thoughts down below, and I will try to respond to every single one, because what else am I gonna do, you know? Alright, I love you very much. Drink water, eat your roots, and Leo will see you in the next video. Goodbye.